The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of HBCU. It's your boy Pooh Bell. Got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
What's up with it, dog?
Hey, hanging in there. It was a rough morning for everybody who got AT&T. It was a rough morning. Somebody was gonna catch some words because I was like, listen, I know y'all ain't disconnect me.
Hey, I wasn't tripping. I wouldn't get work calls. I wasn't tripping at all.
Hey, see, that's the difference. My work phone is Verizon, so that mug was still buzzing. It was still buzzing. But this is the second time this happened. The first time was that year on Christmas when the guy in Nashville blew himself up and blew up the tower and knocked everybody out for like 2-3 days. Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, that was like 3 years ago. So it wasn't that long ago. But man, we got a good one tonight, man. We got some news as far as like coaching moves and couples, getting ready for spring ball, baseball that started up. We got some, some teams moving into that first HBCU to do X, Y, and Z. We got that going on. But man, we got our guy with us tonight, man. We get to talk about some of these bowl games, some of these prospects. So yeah. But first, you know what we gotta do, man. We gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag will be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey, we got our guy with us, man. Come to, he's everywhere. Literally everywhere. All your bowl games, all your all-star games, shall I say. Anywhere that's got HBCU players represented, he's there. I still got a bone pick with him about this Aeneas William Award, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Welcome back, our guy, Coach Gerald Huggins Jr. Welcome back, man.
What's the word, man? What's going on with that? Appreciate the clapping.
What's going on with you?
Man, I'm tired of boy, but I'm okay.
I know, man. You got all them Spirit, JetBlue, Delta, United, all them air miles. Because every time if it's anything with HBCU, prospects, players, awards, you there, and I appreciate that, man, because that's a lot of work. I know it is.
Yeah, That's it. But it's all good, man. It's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely seeing the kids and rapping to them and hearing how much they appreciate me and stuff like that. It feels good, man. So I don't mind doing it. You know what I mean? Wish their schools felt the same way, but that's it. It's all good. It's all good. What's the word with y'all though? Y'all good?
Man, we ain't getting that.
What you mean you got beef about the Nias Williams Award? What?
Man, listen, I understand. I understand. It ain't necessarily beef with you.
It's a selection committee, by the way.
Right.
He biased, man.
I'm biased. I'm very biased.
Who do you think should have won it then? I want to hear that because I've heard it all.
Jordan Toles.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love Toles. I did. But I'm not gonna lie, it was hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It was gonna be hard to beat Kenny out. It was just tough. Definitely once they beat Central, I was like, it's gonna be tough. Once they beat Central and they're gonna go to the Celebration Bowl, I was like, man, it's gonna be hard. And that when they had that head to head, it wasn't like a huge separation. But don't get me wrong, I love Toles. I do love him. I love him. He has a really good chance right now to end up on somebody's roster. So don't get me wrong, I love Toles. I love Mikey. But Kenny just did everything he was supposed to do. So I couldn't take that from him. But like I said, it was a committee. So I just passed the names along. I mean, I get a vote. I can't tell you who I voted for, but
right.
Vote, you know what I mean? But it's a committee. Me, Malik, Tim. Then they got the people at Oklahoma. They got a vote too. So, and they did their homework too and went and talked to people. So they did their homework too. So it all worked out.
He was deserving. You gotta admit that though.
Oh yeah. No, it's not. I don't. So there have been awards where I felt like people have gotten snubbed. I felt like Toles should have won, but I don't think he got snubbed. If that makes sense.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't get snubbed. No.
He didn't get snubbed. It wasn't like, and I will say, because a lot of people don't mention Mikey when they talk about the Nias Williams and who they think. Mikey is very underrated.
Oh yeah, he might be a top. I mean, listen, man, you ain't naming too many corners better than him in all of college football. So I just need people to stop with the helmet scouting, and let's realize this is a 6'3", 212-pound corner that is going to jump 40, 11 broad, 4.5 40, hands like a receiver, can play cover 3, cover 2, cover 1, 3, whatever you want him to do. He'll do it, and he's going to be a core teamers. So, people go overthink it because he went to Alabama State, but they shouldn't. If they like Keenan Isaac from last year, they'll love Mikey Victor. So, and you can't overlook those measurables. And not a lot of corners don't make it to the league when they're 6'3" with an 80-inch reach. I mean, 80-inch wing and 34-inch arms. It's just not. It's rare that doesn't happen. So he's a legit shot to really make it. So, I recommended him for Nias Williams. I got to know him as well, the character. Mm-hmm. But just from he was like the best. He was the best corner I scouted this year, and that goes with my Sunbelt guys too. The East West Shrine Bowl. He was the best corner I've scouted. So it wasn't really close, honestly. Mikey had a legit shot, to really win it, but he was a finalist for a reason, and I'll die on that hill because I know people have his people. Oh boy. Some people won't let it go. Some people really thought they were supposed to win it, and they won't let it go. But I won't get into detail. But it's like I have no.
I'm gonna say petty is in my spirit. I didn't do it on purpose, but I am wearing a Southern shirt tonight. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
Hey, but I'm glad you mentioned Isaac. The success he had last year.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help with a guy like Mikey, or even not even him, Irshad Davis, who left and went to Troy? You know what I'm saying? Does it help that those guys, have that success, and then you have a guy like Mikey who played alongside them,
Mm-hmm.
and is still doing what. Does that help him, or at least help his case for a team to say, hey, it's worth the risk?
I'm not gonna lie. I think Mikey's pedigree on his own helped him because of what he just really. It's like night and day. The player I saw from last year to this year, man. It's not even the same player. This guy he put on a nice healthy weight. He looks faster. He looks quicker laterally, more explosive, more instinctual. Everything I wasn't, I had him ranked number 9 to 10 preseason, but I'll say between his coach and his pops, they was like, man, I'm telling you, just check my son out. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch him during the year and let's see if he progressed. And every week, I just see him getting better every single week. And it was nothing that I saw that I just said this kid can't play in the East-West Shrine Bowl and be productive. So he got his Hula Bowl shot, played well there, got brought up from Hula Bowl to East-West, played well there. I mean, he did everything you could possibly do. And also he has a solid team around him. Mm-hmm. A lot of HBCU guys got to realize, man, you need a village to get you to the league for the most part. It takes for some guys, it takes a lot. A lot of people didn't have Mikey Victor on their radar. Now Mikey Victor is getting 6th and 7th round grades, you know what I'm saying? So, he went from an unknown prospect to a guy that could potentially get drafted. And it takes a team and it takes him to do what he did. So I'm not going to take any credit for that because that boy worked his butt off. He has positioned himself to be a really solid football player moving forward, a guy that will get to that second contract, and he deserves it. I mean, he has pedigree. His brother played in the league as well, so he's not new to this. You know what I mean? So even with Irshad, man, I feel bad for Irshad. He did everything he's supposed to do when you move up from FCS to FBS. He went all conference in the Sun Belt. He was the highest graded safety in the conference. He did everything he's supposed to do, but it just didn't work out as planned for him. But I'll still promote him and do everything in my power to get him a look. But it's a little saddening that he couldn't get a CGS Bowl, Hula Bowl, Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, and he can't get Legacy Bowl because once you leave, then you come back. So I mean, we could talk about that another time about maybe bring some of these guys back or whatever, because there are guys that could use a Legacy Bowl shot. But that's something you got to think about when you move out. It may be a little backwards how, a 4-year graduate of a PWI could come for the HBCU for 1 year and play in the Legacy Bowl, but reverse, it doesn't work that way. I don't like it per se, but if that's the rules, that's what we're rocking with. So kids got to know that if you leave, you better get to one of the other bowl games because you darn sure ain't going to get this one. So just keep that in mind.
You talked about how a guy like Mikey getting those shots at those bowl games, bumped his draft grade up. Now he's getting 6, 7 round grades. What is the importance of the HBCU Combine and the Legacy Bowl in terms of getting some of these guys in front of those same eyes to where they can boost their draft stock where his had?
I'm big on the timing of it, and I just know the timing of it is a lot that goes into why they can't move it up. Ideally, you would love for it to be one of the first games of the All-Star games of the year, but it's just not going to work out that way. So you got to find a way to make the game appealing to our top prospects, and for the most part, we've had. I mean, honestly, man, I'll tell y'all now, this is probably the best class I've scouted since I became a scout. These kids just look more pro ready than any other year. It was really top heavy in a lot of years, but this is a year where, you could see a few drafted and some high priority free agents. I'm talking about a record number, maybe 15, 20. And then you got us running the CFL because the UFL made their point. They're only going to just continue to get the FBS fall offs from the NFL to bring into the UFL. So HBCU guys might not have a chance there. But, when I tell you these CFL scouts are clamoring for these guys, I've been around, I've been listening to them. I've seen NFL scouts just man, that's a dude. I'm yeah, he's a dude. You know what I'm saying? So I think overall, if we continue to make the game more appealing, we'll be able to get better players. And, end of the day, we have solid players here. Even missing our top guys, quote unquote, we still have a productive group of guys here. Jarian Brokenberg, Tariq Stewart, John Huggins.
Right.
It just makes the product better. It makes you want to engage. It's like seeing Sundiata go against Neem Dankwa in the Shrine Bowl was like one of the happiest moments of my life. I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for. I've been watching these dudes since they were teenagers. Now they're beating each other up in the Shrine Bowl, and it's like amazing. So selfishly, I would love to see that, but I also know this is a business, and kids got to do what's best for their future. But I think the kids rock with me, and they rock with Malik, and they rock with us enough that we said, like, listen, man, like, come on through, get a couple practices in. You never know, and then just do it for us, do it for yourself, and we'll see. The game may be something better. You never know.
I got quick question, because I know you've mentioned Senior Bowl and stuff like that. Is there a rule that prohibits these guys from participating in, say, the Senior Bowl and then the Legacy Bowl?
Oh no, they're good to go. They just don't do it. They just figure, hey, I performed at the HBCU Legacy. I just performed at the Shrine and Senior. I did well, so I don't really feel the need to do both. Wearing too much wear and tear, and some guys got pro days, some have combine invites, like Willie Drew. Neem Dankwa had combine invites, even though I think Willie Drew should have probably took his butt to the Legacy Bowl and show that he can do something, because he didn't have the greatest week down there in Mobile. But he probably wasn't advised to do that, so I'm not going to knock him. You always listen to your agent. I can consult, but end of the day, it comes between you and your agent. Whatever y'all should get situated is what it's going to be. Ideally, you would like for them to do both. Like, you love have seen Aubrey Miller and Isaiah Land and all those guys play last year, but it just didn't work out that way. Isaiah Land more than Miller didn't need to do it. Miller probably could have used the game. Maybe a Dallas Daniels could use the game. Jadakiss could have used the game. Honestly, if you're not a bona fide draftable guy, then you ideally shouldn't be turning anything down. That's just my personal opinion, but everybody has their thought patterns, and a lot of agents are not doing our kids a good service. They're not telling them how they're really looked at from people in higher places. So that's where I come in, and a lot of kids probably don't want to ask me, because I'll tell them, like, you're a free agent. I mean, you're not going to get 32 scouts at your pro day. I'm sorry, like, you're not going to get it. No matter how good FAMU and Grambling and Jackson, all them feel, they're not going to get all 32 at their pro day. So the HBCU Combine at least will give you all 32. Well, it was 31 teams there. I think it was only one team. I can't remember the team I was missing. It was 31 teams there, and the Legacy Bowl practices the first 2 days, it had pretty much everybody there. You're not going to get that at your pro day. So that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you can go and at least get to the combine, I mean, especially if you're not invited to the NFL combine, go and do the combine. That's big. Let's talk about the Legacy Bowl. You've been posting who's been having a good day of practice. Your winners for Team Gaither, Team Robinson. What have you who has stood out that you didn't necessarily have on the radar before?
Oh, not on my radar. I would say Ja'Cory Howard has really impressed me. Like he's big. He has some juice out the backfield. He showed some good hands and some good route running ability out the backfield. I was thoroughly impressed. Him and Ladarius. So I mean, I could see why that 1-2 punch was what it was at Texas. It was definitely a flash and dash or what, a smash and smash, whatever it was. It was. I mean, he's not like the fastest guy, but my God, you're gonna have to hit him to bring him down. Very compact. Forward lean, leg drive, some contact balance there. I like what he has brought to the table. Russell is the quarterback. Jaron Russell. He has very much. He's looked like him and Dennis, Aeneas Dennis from Benedict, and so those two kids, like they look like the best two quarterbacks on their side. They looked. I was impressed. They could really spin it, show good velocity when they needed to fit the ball, tight windows, and some good touch on the deep balls. I was impressed. And they look good. And they look like the part. They look like they're hitting the weights, and they had a good solid size. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. Hemphill from Texas Southern, another kid that they liked him at the combine. They had him at tackle, but I think he's going to be more of a guard. Moving forward, good size on him. I'm impressed by watching him. I just don't like him on the edge. I like him more at tackle. But pretty much everybody else that I kind of, the dudes are the dudes. Like I love Deshaun Ingram. A lot of people don't know about Deshaun Ingram from Howard, but he's one of the best pass blockers I didn't watch on film, and he showed that all week. Lawrence LeGrone from North Carolina A&T. Jesus Christ, the kid is a wise refrigerator, man. When he gets his hands on you, good night. I will say this. That Gaither team, they are so physical and nasty and violent, man. And I'm just comparing the practices, man. If y'all could just see it, like these kids look like they're preparing for a championship game. Like they're hitting each other, they fighting. Like Tariq Stewart trying to put somebody in the stands. Him and Brokenberg were going at it. Jablonski. I mean, you can see that if you saw their helmets, man, they done messed the helmets up. Like all-star practice usually don't look like that.
Right.
It was the atmosphere was crazy. They were about to fight. They were hitting each other out. I'm like, oh.
Who coaching Team Gaither again?
Team Gaither is Coach AP from Union and Coach Scott from Howard.
Oh, okay.
They got them boys. But it's that MEXCIAA thing, man. It's violent, man. There's just nothing. They gonna live and die by just being violent. And even if you beat them, you're gonna be sore. You know what I mean? It's just, and I love that about them. And I watched it. The trench play for the Gaither side is just better than the Team Robinson side. But those skill positions on Team Robinson are really good. You got Marcus Riley, you got John Huggins, you got Hazel from Jackson State. You just got a bunch of really good skill positions over there. And it's like, you know what I mean? Then you got this dude, Cedric Anderson, Jesus Christ, this 6'4" corner that I'm falling in love with more and more every day. That I will put him at strong safety. He gonna have to just be my next curse from the Cowboys. Like, guard that tight end. Because he just looked good. I mean, 6'4", 200 with an 82-inch wing. Good gracious, like, you don't get that at corner. That's just a beautiful. You just like the end of the night. I will say the backers for the team Robinson are solid, man. Lewis Matthews, who I love to death, but he's a little vertically challenged, but that's a football player. Bubba's a football player. You just some guys they're not gonna be the best testers, this, that, and the third, but they play football. So teams are gonna love that. Like I think Lewis is gonna end up in somebody's camp. That's what I've been hearing. Like, he's a dude, and I agree. He's been a dude for a while now. Let's see who else we got, man. I will say Jordan Toles has pretty much cemented himself as like probably the best DB here outside of maybe him, John, and Hazel. They're really fighting for that best DB spot. But Eric Smith, I tweeted earlier, man, nickel Roby Coleman. I see it. Actually, Charles Davis said it. He was like, man, just think of it, short, feisty, but he's faster than nickel Roby Coleman. I think Roby Coleman ran a 4.56. We talking about Eric Smith at about 4.3, 4.32.
Right.
Around 175, so he's about 5'8", 175. I think Coleman was like 169 when he got to the league at 5'7.5". So I am definitely a fan of his, and I want to see these matchups, man. This is the exciting part. But that trench play with Jablonski and Darian and Patrick Bolt, they're gonna give Team Robinson a run for their money. I hope that the quarterbacks get an opportunity to really showcase their talents, because these defensive linemen are gonna have some fun, and not gonna be like last year. But I will say, if I had to give an edge, man, the offensive line and defensive line is just better on the team Gaither side. It's just, but then again, Luber Denilis, he's been losing his mind this week.
Yeah.
He put on 50 pounds, 5'11", 76-inch wings, ran a 4.9. Really good explosiveness. He got about 1.7 10-yard split, so he got some pop there, some juice off the snap, quick. So he'll be able to make some plays. But overall, man, it was night and day in the trenches. But we'll see. Davius is pretty much him and everybody else. Call it what it is. I'm not going. I know you people have to talk about this, but I'm not. It's Davius Richard, and then it's like everybody else is kind of figuring it out. But even with that, man, I see the Tariq. Let me tell you about Tariq, by the way, because he's here. Tariq, he is physical. He's missing a tooth. He is crazy. I love it. That is what offensive lineman is supposed to look like. Just a big, nasty, missing tooth. Just wants to put you in the dirt every single play. You have to get him off. Like, if you don't get him off of you, he's going to try and put you in the dirt. Scouts love him. I see him being at least a swing tackle early in his career. And I love Donkwa. I just think Donkwa may have a higher upside, but Tariq, he's ready right now. He got to bulk up a little bit up top, but he's ready. I was thoroughly impressed by him this week. He has asserted his dominance early, and that's saying something going against the defensive lineman that he was going against this week.
Yeah. Zach, what's good? Zach said he's been one of my favorite guys all week. The coaches are having to force him out of the drills. He wants all the reps.
He does. It's beautiful. Oh God. He's gonna go to camp in NFL camp, and he's just gonna that's Lawrence LeGrone. And them two used to be oh God. Just picture them two combo blocking the guys. Jesus Christ. I saw LeGrone put some kid in the dirt, man. I said, God, Jesus. And he's just like, dang. Oh boy. He's a guard to me more than a center, but that boy, man, he get his hands on you, man. You're going for a ride. And it's a painful one. Pause. So, just I'm sorry, but I like trench play. Like, me and Zach sitting like, this is what it's supposed to be. Like, I don't watch DBs online anymore. It's not fun to me. Like the trench guys. Like, they're trying to kill each other every play, and I love it. So that's just a preference thing.
I feel you.
So I understand, and you talked about all these guys, and I love hearing it. This is the issue I have. And I think it's kind of one Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, and some of the other earlier bowls, not inviting these guys to go against the more recognizable helmets and showing this same grit, showing the same intensity on that level. That's what angers me about the whole process. I know last year, this year, the COVID guys just now coming out and stuff, that kind of has affected and skewed numbers. Having the Shrine and Senior Bowl, 2 days apart, I know that's affected some of this. So
yeah, it's not the it's not the most feasible thing, but there's a lot. It's a lot of a lot of stuff way above my pay grade.
Right.
I would just say, the work is still being done. It's good to have people in the room. I'm fighting. To be able to at least get the guys we got in the game was a blessing. But it's a process. You know what I mean? Could like a LeGrone and a Broken Burr and a Stewart and a Jablonski, could they have competed in the Hula and the Shrine and the Senior Bowl? For sure, without a doubt. If it was just about ability, a lot of things would be different. But we all know it ain't just about ability. It's a lot of moving parts. And I guess I'm learning that side of the business, and I just gotta, there's something I just gotta understand. The kids understand it too. I tell them it's not, if it was just about your ability, you'll be there, but it's a lot that goes into it. It's a numbers game, and you gotta make sure everybody's copacetic, everybody happy. It's a lot of people that want to see certain things, and you gotta just But the kids that are getting the looks are the kids that are supposed to get the looks. At this point, if you haven't really heard from scouts, it's probably a reason. I've spoken to scouts, the same few names pop up. So, I mean, that's the ones that are circulating, and that's just what it is. It doesn't mean the players aren't good. It's just that, hey, like, they're not needing of your talent at the time. Doesn't mean you're a bad player. They just don't see the need to have you on the football team at the moment. That's all.
Yeah. So how many players do you think ultimately get drafted this year?
About two or three at the most. But definitely Sonny and Mikey have set themselves up to get drafted. They did everything they could to get drafted. Definitely from what Sonny's telling me with his training, and Mikey, the numbers they about to put up at Pro Day, on top of the film and the Shrine Bowl stuff, and just the measurables, be fine. But there are guys I believe should get them. There are draftable grades on a lot. Like I have about a draftable grade on like 6 to 8 guys, but having a draftable grade and getting drafted are two totally different things. So is like Tariq Stewart has a draftable grade. You could pick him up 7th round. Why not? I mean, I've seen everything I need to see. Donko, draftable grade. Mikey, draftable grade. Sonny, draftable grade. A guy named Corey Bullock that was at Central, that's at University of Maryland, draftable grade. So it's just guys have draftable grades, but it's just they gotta want you at the moment. They gotta make sure they can get you. But I still recognize PFA count. I'm talking about 15, 20 PFA guys. Like this is high. This is gonna be a high PFA. I mean, not just free agent just to bring you into camp. I'm talking about these fringe NFL roster guys. Y'all spoke toes up. He calling me right now. I'm gonna call him back. But fringe NFL, I love that kid because he's. We talked about things he needs to work on, things he should do, and he's doing it. And I'm just. I love when kids just take it and they can just listen and they just utilize it on the field. It's a good thing. So, but yeah, man, I don't want to overshoot it and get people too excited about 2 guys get drafted. I get it. I know the politics and all that stuff that go into it, but the players will get picked up. And honestly, the goal for our guys is to get to camp anyway.
Yeah.
Having Emmanuel Wilson, man, he got to camp and lost his mind. They had to keep him.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for kids that get to camp. If you get to camp, you got to do what you got to do. There's kids that don't get it.
That's your opportunity right there, man.
You get to camp, you make it all the way to the end, and you don't get kept. Sorry, like you could say politics. I get it, but trust me, if you were really exceptional, then you would keep kept. Isaiah Land, he got kept for a reason, and he played more than the guys that got drafted ahead of him because you just had to play him. So make them. I got told the kids, I was like, yo, make these scouts work, man. Make them think. Like, hey, maybe I missed on this kid. Make them think. So hopefully that helps. I think it helped them a lot in the long run. So all in all, proud of these kids, man. They doing the thing. Man.
All right, G. I want to talk. I know you talked about the kids. I want to talk about you for a minute.
Okay.
all the work you're doing and stuff. It was a post the other day. A gentleman said that this guy should be in the NFL.
Scott Pioli. Yeah.
There aren't. I mean, we know of guys that saying former HBCU players that are in coaching positions or that are front office guys who make a mark and stuff. And you can see their influence.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just something about a guy who has an eye for talent and can recognize it on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. But just tell us, if you will. I've mentioned several times the different places you're going, the different things you're doing. Can you tell everybody what is a typical day like for you?
Okay. 4 o'clock wake up.
Lost me there already.
4 o'clock wake up. 4:45. I'm helping set up the gym for the kids for their workouts. I got to get there, so they got to be there at 5:15, and then they start at 5:30. We end at about 7:30. Then I get my workout in from 7:30 to 9:30. Then I have a 10 o'clock meeting. Then after my 10 o'clock meeting, I may have another 11 o'clock meeting. And after my 11 o'clock meeting, I start doing my scouting stuff. So that takes up the most of my rest of my day. I get me some lunch, try and get a nap in, but it's not going to happen. So pretty much my scouting report stuff and my writing and stuff pretty much take most of my day up. Then I try to take a second to decompress, read a book, watch some TV. Then I just sit in bed and I'm just like, dang, let me do some more work. Then I got my content stuff I have to do for Lincoln University as well, for the athletics department on top of recruiting. So I do recruiting as well for Lincoln University. Dang, what else do I do? I just started with working with Zach for Blue Bloods, so I do that as well. What else? So I do my scout reports for East West Shrine Bowl, Draft HBCU, and I'm working with Blue Bloods as well. So then I just try to fit all of it in, and it's tiring. Don't get me wrong. And then just talking on the phone with coaches all day, just trying to figure out what their mind is like for the upcoming season. I'm not gonna complain, but I'd be tired. But it's worth it when I see the smiles on the kids' faces. You know what I'm saying, because that's what I really do it for. I'm a player first guy, and I know they need it, so I ain't gonna complain too much. I know there are people that would love to be in my position, so I'm never gonna take that for granted. I just have this mentality that like I'd be damned if someone outworked me. Like it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sacrifice way too much to get to this point. Like, you're not about to outwork me. I want to help people. You know what I'm saying? I can't help people if I don't get in the room. So I said I got to get in the room so I could help. And so I've been able to help people get some gigs and help them with their careers, some advice, stuff like that. And that only will come if I'm able to sacrifice a couple hours of sleep. It is what it is, But this is just the roughest time for me because like I'm coaching and scouting, and scouting is like the happiest during the month of February and March. So that's just what it is. But I don't complain. You ain't gonna never hear me complain. You know what I'm saying? I'll say I'm tired, but things got to get done because if we don't do it, if you don't do your show, if I don't do my scouting, if Jocelyn do his show, if Malik don't post his graphics, these kids gonna suffer. So
right,
we need the kids to get all the love and they deserve. So I'm currently in the middle of trying to work my way into the committees to be able to help with the selection processes of the HBCU Combine and the HBCU Legacy Bowl. The HBCU Combine brought me down to help with the cluster interviews for the NFL team. So that's something that I was happy for, and I think it's going to be a long-standing thing moving forward. I was able to sit with Scott Pioli. I was able to sit with my mentor, Roman Oven. I was able to sit with some older scouts and really learn the game. A guy named Dick Daniels, man, he's like one of the top and one of the few black scouts during the time where there just wasn't a lot of us. And guys like that, to be able to talk to him and talk to Charles Davis and talk to Steve White and talk to George Stewart and guys like that. And they're just saying how appreciative all the work I do. I'm like, shit, of course I'm going to get up and do this. Of course I'm going to just, I don't have to. Like, I can't stop. As much as like the post where, the post where I look all happy and excited is great. But them days where I get out my bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, I ain't gonna go to bed until about 12. It's hard, but it's done. It's gonna get done. So I appreciate y'all for always, having my back and reposting my content, even when other people don't. It means a lot. So the work is being put in on all angles. It's gonna take a unified movement to really get this thing going. Let it go. So it's all love, my G. Real.
No doubt.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you need to get some sleep. So I got one last question for you before we get up out of here. And because I already know you may not have officially done it, but I already know you did it. What you looking like for next year, or what are we looking like for next year? Some of the top prospects. What are some guys that are already kind of you think?
Man. Eric Hunter is probably him, and Elijah Williams are probably my 1 and 2 right now. With Kenny Gallup in there. If you count the guys that transferred out, we got like a Kriston Davis, Terrell Allen gonna get a shot. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put him because I heard he's under 6 feet tall. But then you got Malachi Bailey, Devontae Davis, like Daquan Felton that left Norfolk to go to Virginia Tech. So it's a few guys. Isaiah Hamilton that's down there at Houston with Kriston and with congrats to your son once again.
I appreciate it, man.
They out there. He's out there with them. So it's a lot of guys. I mean, it's gonna be hard to top this 24 class though. Jeez. At that HBCU combine, watching these kids run and jump and stuff, I'm like, dang, probably the most athletic HBCU guys we have in on grand scheme, grand scale. But I will say, look out for Eric Hunter. He's my number 1 right now, with his teammate Elijah Williams, number 2, and then Kenny Gallup in the 3. Jared Hunter is like my top running back coming back, and like Carl Vansky from Morgan, like. Oregon is stacked on defense for the Christ all levels. But I will say Eric Hunter is a 6'4", 220-pound inside linebacker that could pass rush off the edge. I mean, kid is an ex-receiver playing linebacker. Like,
crazy athletic.
Insane how athletic that kid is. So I can't wait to see him. I think he's putting on some more weight. Jesus. Yeah, so there's that, what I mean. So let's keep on. I'll keep y'all updated for sure. I'm gonna get my 2025 list going, definitely with my preseason Neil Williams Award watch. Now I will say there's a kid named Burris from Alabama State that I've kind of got my eye on. He's another 6'2" corner from Alabama State. But I think he's the next one too. I've been talking to Coach Williams, and he's been telling me great things about him. So if Alabama State could find a way to get 3, they'd have Cale Jackson and Chauncey Moore in the CFL. Yeah. They got Keenan Isaac on the Bucks. They're gonna get Mike. Mikey gonna get drafted, and they get another one. Yeah, right. We're really talking about some DBU-ish. Yeah. Not a lot of teams could say they have that, and that's across all levels. You know what I mean?
Man.
Last question. You can give me one answer. You can give me a 1-word answer. Is this the year we get a quarterback drafted from HBCU?
That's it.
Oh man, you know what? He is a high PF. Like, he's literally the first person you call right after the draft right now. If someone's willing to pick him up in the 7th, because I'm gonna be honest with you, for Christ's sake. Okay. It's not like a hot take or anything. This is legit. I've asked other people this, so they can't say it's just me. I said, look at Joe Milton, look at Davis Richard, and you tell me who the better quarterback is. Take the helmet away. Just look at how he throw the ball. Look how he runs. Joe Milton is ranked the top as a number 10 quarterback in a lot of people's mock drafts and stuff like that. Do y'all really think, if y'all take the helmet away, is Joe Milton that much better than Davis Richards? A way more accomplished, a way better looking quarterback, mechanic wise, running ability.
That's it, man.
So I just say that. So, you know, I get it. People going to helmet scout this one. They're going to overthink Davis Richards, just like they're overthinking Marvin Harrison Jr. I remember last year Marvin Harrison was like number 1 overall pick. Now all of a sudden this kid is like wide receiver 3 to some people. I'm like, okay, go ahead, overthink it. So Davis, could he get drafted? Possibly. Is he? I'll say he's the first PF. He's the first guy. He's gonna be the first guy off the wire as soon as get a call. But if Joe Milton gets drafted ahead of him, I will gladly fight to the death to say I don't think like there are 15 quarterbacks better than Davis Richards in this draft. That's just me personally.
I'm gonna let you get some rest. and I'm gonna bring you back one day. We can argue about this Marvin Harrison.
Oh, you too? Oh,
I don't think he's. I listen.
Oh God!
I'm gonna just say it. I think Odunze. I think Odunze is number. Now, is Marvin Harrison gonna have a great
number 1?
I think Odunze is number 1.
Everybody's saying that now. I can't believe what happened. All it took was what did Marvin Harrison do to drop down?
He didn't do it. Honestly, Marvin Harrison didn't do anything. I honestly this might be a topic for another
All
day.
Right, you know what? It's fine. We'll bring this back.
But it's not in the hate. No, I think Marvin Harrison is going to be a excellent pro. So,
dang.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden
Good
Boot
save.
podcast.
All right, my brother. I gotta hop on HBCU nightly for bed anyway.
Yeah. All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you for coming through.
Big.
All right. Hey, our guy, Coach G. Appreciate you for coming through.
I couldn't have that, dog. 4 hours of sleep a night. Ain't no way, my boy.
I did that once for about two months. Actually, it wasn't 2 months. It was 70 days.
Okay.
I know. I kept track. Yeah, exactly when it happened. And here's what they get you to with that in the military. You're required to get 4 hours of sleep. You're not required to get 4 hours of consecutive sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was some. Anyway, man, we got some more good news and just topics to talk about. Luckily we can kind of, I ain't gonna say breeze through these, but we can go through these. These aren't as necessarily as heavy. UAPB, Coach Hampton, making moves, man. I don't know if it's officially as offensive coordinator. I can't remember, but he brought in Tony Hull, who was the OC at Grambling. And you reminded me, and a lot of people, they actually worked together at ULM.
Yeah, for 2 years. Before they both left last year, when Tony Hull went to Grambling and Coach Hampton went to UAPB. So I'm kind of glad Coach Hull found a landing spot. I think that's a good pickup for UAPB. If they can get the personnel they need, I think they'll have a pretty decent offense with Coach Hull.
I like it. I didn't, just because I didn't look, or I saw the graphic and I didn't read into it. And is it OC or is it as a position? Okay, yeah, I definitely didn't read too much into it. This was news that obviously has been floating around for a while. You sent it to me earlier. It is now being confirmed. Several sites have put it out. Fred McNair finds a new home in Baton Rouge. He'll be heading to Southern to join Coach Graves on his staff.
Hell of a hire.
Hey, first the one thing people said about Coach Graves, if he can get the right guys on his staff around him, he'll do just well. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did. Exactly what he did. Went out and got one of the top guys. So I'm definitely happy to hear that. He said, "Is that the guy that called a pass in the classic?" That's when no. The guy who called a pass in the classic got his tights on somewhere. He almost was in Atlanta.
He was gone before the classic.
Oh, you're right. He was. Never mind. Oh, shoot, he was. Oh, shoot, he might. Nah.
No comment.
No. Yeah. Want to throw this out there. Spring football. Dates are starting to filter in. If your school has announced their spring football, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, or something. Let us know y'all spring dates. We're trying to compile a list, make sure we, keep everybody abreast. I also like to look and see like which date everybody picked, because last year everybody picked like April 14th. Everybody had the same day for their spring game. 420 is an option this year.
I think that's one. I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, Grambling and Bethune right now on 420. So, but yeah, y'all send us that stuff, man. We get everything together. Speaking of pushing out dates, shout out to the SWAC. Announced their SWAC Media Day. It is now set. SWAC Media Day is July 16th, Tuesday, July 16th. Begins at 8 a.m. Get there early if you want your fried chicken, because it be hitting. And that pulled pork. Huh?
Travis gonna get it.
Damn right, Travis gonna get it. All the fried chicken. Travis said he didn't get the fried chicken like that. He said, nah, that pulled pork, that pulled pork was nice. Right. He got that pulled pork, yeah. he hit that pulled pork table up. Took that off. But yeah, man, SWAC Media Day. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So, man, baseball is back, and the SWAC is no different, man. Prairie View. Well, I set that up all wrong. Let me start over. Baseball is back in the SWAC. This past week, man, this weekend you had Alcorn, Southern, Prairie View, Grambling, Jackson State, Texas Southern, all competed in the Cactus Jack Classic, the second annual Cactus Jack Classic at Minute Maid Park. I loved one of my favorite parts was seeing the kid from Southern hit the home run. Yeah, and he went around them. That meant a lot to him, man. Hit a home run in the major league park like that.
Yeah, that boy was hype.
Yeah, I've been to Minute Maid Park too. He hit that thing far. He hit that thing far.
Yeah,
it was up out of here. Man, as we begin to wrap up, we got three more big stories. Shout out to Wilberforce University. Wilberforce University will now be the third HBCU to start a gymnastics program. They're set to begin in 2026. With that said, I think another major shout out should go to the Brown Girls Do Gymnastics. That organization has been not just key and pivotal. It is the essential you need if you want to start a HBCU. Gymnastics program for your HBCU. They are the driving force behind this. So that initiative, really do appreciate them. Also, Wilberforce is bringing back, or they announced the university is going to have women's soccer and volleyball as well. So shout out to them. Wilberforce making moves. Next, Howard University and the Fighting Ericas. They will be the first HBCU to have a figure skating team. So that's dope, man.
That's on brand for Howard.
It is. That is dope though.
Oh
I
no,
like
it is. So that's dope.
I like it. It's gonna be interesting. See how they do. Last and certainly not least, we know that last year, or at least late last year, it was announced Fort Valley State was no longer going to be in the Red Tails Classic. Taking their place is going to be Johnson C. Smith, at least for 2024. They're to be taking on Tuskegee this year in the Red Tails Classic in Birmingham, Alabama. So it's not even in Montgomery anymore. It's in Birmingham. So major shout out to them getting that done. Yeah. Man, and I know we ain't talk any basketball.
Big one this weekend, bro.
It is.
Big one.
It is.
And Southern scrambling for first place in the SWAC.
Yeah, both of them at I think what is it, 10-2 in the conference?
10-3. 10-3 in
10-3 in the conference.
Yeah. And obviously Jackson State girls running away with it over there. They 13.
I ain't even gonna talk about it. I ain't even bring them up. So I think Jackson State girls running away with it. Is it Norfolk girls on the other side, or is it still? I know Coppin was kind of trying to keep up.
Norfolk 8-1. Norfolk girls 8-1. They 2 games ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. And on
the men's side is
wild.
Norfolk 7-2, 2 games ahead of everybody. So
he still got Erica Block. He still got Erica blocked on Twitter. That's so funny. Oh, that's funny to me. My bad. You were saying something though.
No, I was just saying this weekend that Southern Grambling game gonna be live, bro. That's gonna be a good one. First place on the line. That's rivalry games already gonna be turned up a notch, but you throw that first place in the SWAC on the line, that's just gonna make them turn it up even more.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, we got anything else before we get up out of here?
Nah, that's all I had. I just wanted to make sure we touched on that basketball real quick, but other than that, I'm good.
All right. Hey, don't forget, if you have dates for your team for spring, please let us know. Send it to us. Let us know, man. Y'all do what y'all can. Let's see what we got. Yeah, they are. That boy said, Adrian said, I had to catch on what he said. I thought he said they on the roll. He said they all right. He meant them roids. Boy, listen, them folks gonna get you. I always mess with them folks, Adrian.
They on a mission for real this year.
I'm not saying that until we get to tournament time. See how they get their revenge for real.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's how I feel about Grambling basketball, because last year they was regular season, they did great, made it to the conference championship game and lost. So you gotta get over the hump.
Shit, you gotta get past big bad big bad Texas Southern.
That's what I'm saying.
John Jones, yeah.
You gotta get over the hump.
It's funny. I would never pick them in the regular season, but when it comes time, it like conference tournament time,
it's like they always peak at the right time, bro.
Yes, sir.
It's like they always start getting hot right around tournament time. Then they go on a little run late in the tournament. I mean, right before the tournament.
Adrian.
Man, this dude crazy, bro. I wouldn't mind watching it though. It might be competitive.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's get up out of here for Adrian. Get us jumped on. All right, man. We'll be back next week. Like that. We out. This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Bring me my money.